I'm Christina, and I'm here with Martina, and we are your podcast hosts for Everyday Ordinary, Extraordinary Women. We were inspired to create this podcast after pondering on this question: what would a world look like where we can be inspired by every person? Usually, we are very quick to compare and judge ourselves and others. And when we do that, everyone is losing. Depending on my point of view, I can either feel small because I come out lacking, or arrogant and dismissive because I feel superior. Those are the only two options, and neither of those options make us feel good. So here's our thought: someone's everyday normal is someone else's extraordinary. Judgment comes from first impressions. So we invite you, the listener, to go beyond first impressions and see the magic everywhere. There's inspiration at every corner in everyone if we're willing to look. And so today we have with us the beautiful Seraina Caviezel. So I just have to say that I've had the privilege to watch Seraina grow into the beautiful young adult that she is today. And we are so happy to have you here to share your younger perspective on these questions with us. So, do you have anything you would like to share with us today and introduce yourself?
Thank you so much for having me, Christina and Rami. Um, hi. I am 20 years old. That's my mom, that's my godmother. And I'm from Long Island, New York. I am a junior at the University of Richmond, and I'm studying business and journalism. I am one of four kids, which I feel like is a huge part of my life, just my family. And I love to talk, so I'm very excited to be here.
We are so excited to have you here with us. For me, you are just this smart, passionate, curious, playful, but fiercely protective of your friends and family. And um, I just love having you in my world, and I am so excited to have you on our podcast today.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, Seraina, can you finish the sentence? If you really knew me, you would know. What would we know about you? What would we know?
If you really knew me, you would know that I'm a very outgoing person. Um, I love my family. I'm very, very close to them, and I wouldn't be who I am without them. Um, I really try to have a positive mindset in life, and I really like to live by the words that everything happens for a reason and it all will work out.
Mhm. Really beautiful. I like that. That's a really cool mantra to take with you through anything in life. So, what would you say your superpower is?
So I was thinking about this earlier. And it's funny because I was looking at the questions and I was like kind of preparing myself a little bit. And I'm being from home right now, so I went to all my family members, and tried to talk the answer out of them. And nobody would give it to me. And then finally this morning I was talking to my dad, and I was like, what would my superpower be? And he was like, your emotions. And I was like, that doesn't really make sense. Um, and he was then went on to explain it to me. And he was like, you're just a very emotional person. And that is sometimes there's a little bit of flaw to that, but it comes with so much power because in every situation you care so much and you put yourself entirely into it. And the example that he used was something so small that affected me was like when I was studying in Madrid this past 4 months, and when he came to visit, the second I saw him in the airport, I just like broke down crying. And I was so excited to see him. And he was like, because you care so much. And then when he was leaving, the same thing happened. And he was like, because you care so much. And I think that there's a power of like being able to express my emotions, and showing people that I care. And I think that's something that's like really unique about me is I am very open. My emotions are always all on the table, and I think like at times there's some flaws to that where sometimes I can't control it, or and like the people around me know that like, oh, she's just having it. But I think that it also shows the people around me that I really care, and I think that's a huge um superpower of mine, my like emotions and my ability to show them.
That's
I
beautiful.
agree.
That's beautiful. So tell us something funny or silly or embarrassing.
Um Okay. Well, kind of going off of that, like I said, these past 4 months I was studying abroad in Madrid, and it was an emotional roller coaster, to say the least. It was lots of new lessons, lots of new experiences, good times, really high highs, really low lows. And the day finally came for me to leave. And I was the last person left in my apartment, and I packed up all my stuff. I had a lot more than I came with just because I shopped a lot. And I had my huge duffel bag on my shoulder, my huge tote bag on my shoulder, and then I had my two suitcases, and I like make it out of my apartment. Where I live, there's like this little garage thing arch that you can drive into, but I've never ever seen a car going into it. And I'm walking out with all of my stuff on myself. And I take one step and I trip over my own feet and I just face plant on the floor. And all my stuff goes everywhere. And of course, that's the one moment when there's a car going through and they all like rush out. And I'm like lying on the floor in a mix of like laughing hysterically at myself and like crying because I was in pain. And I was like, this is it. It's time to go home. And here we are now. So yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
Those are always good ones when you can laugh at yourself in the midst of it and have others laughing with you too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that subtle kick from the universe, right? Like, and it's time to go.
Exactly. I think it was like we made it here. All right, it's time to go home. Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. So, what would you say fills you up in life?
What fills me up in life? Oh, I think there's like different ways I can answer this. I think that like I can always say like being around my family and friends because that like really is the thing that's the most important to me. But then there's also like the little things and finding like the beauty in the little things, and like my friends know me. I really like the small things. Like sunsets. I love to go watch sunsets. I love smiley faces. I love when I see them around. The color pink. It's something that just, if you know me, my entire room is pink. Um, Stuff like that. Flowers, like when people get me flowers or I buy flowers for myself. So just like little things like that that just like make my heart really happy. And also just like always remind me of the beauty of the world and like the beauty of like what's going on around me. And then of course like being with the people that I love and the people that make me feel safe. That really fills me up.
It's really, really beautiful. So, A, did you notice that your mom and I both have pink on today?
Yes.
We were clearly inspired by you. But I love how you say that like your room is pink and like you surround yourself with things that make you happy, right? And that alone fills you up. And I think that's um a great insight, right? Like for all people, like we think we have to like do things like go get a massage and take bubble baths and like do these real action oriented things, but you can really just surround yourself with things that make you happy, and that alone can fill you up. And that's a
Yeah.
really great
I think that like obviously there are things you can do to like change your day around, but for me it's more so about like having these little reminders everywhere um in case I'm having a bad day, or even if I'm not even having a bad day, but I just like need a little reminder to keep me going or like wake up. And it's like the little things, like I said, like my entire room is pink. And I just love the color pink. But like I have a smiley face like flower that says like be happy, choose happy. Like on my keychain I have like think happy, be happy. It's like little things like that where it's like it's just like little reminders of like everything's going to be okay, and like that's just like put a smile on your face. I have a sunset tattoo, just because that's something that I love. Like I love the beauty in sunsets and like the colors and all of that, and like they never fail to make me smile. So it's just like the little things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is those, it's beautiful, those little reminders we have, right? It's and just looking at them can make you happy, you know. Yeah, for you it's the smiley face. I just was thinking, I have in the kitchen, I have this it's a picture that somebody gave me, and it says, some people look for the beautiful in the world and others make the world a beautiful place. And it just makes me so happy. You know, somebody gave it to me, and it just makes me so happy to just see it there. So it's bringing in those things that just remind us
Mhm.
of beauty, or yeah, of love, or whatever your word is for that. So beautiful. So what is your biggest lesson? Like, what made you who you are today?
Um, this is a funny one. Um, it's as simple as this, and I think you're gonna laugh, Mommy, because it's what you always said to us. But life's not fair. And plain and simple, life's not fair. And that is the biggest lesson that I think it took me a really, really, really long time to learn. And I think you guys would know that more than anyone else. But life's not fair. What someone's life looks like is not what yours is gonna look like, and that's okay. And you have to find the beauty in that and the strength to get through that, and to accept that, and to make the most out of it, and like make it your life and still love it. And this kind of goes back to my family being such a huge part of my life. But I entered a world where my family did not look like everybody else's. And for a while, I struggled with that really, really badly. And I hated it. I hated the world for it. I hated my family for it. I hated everything. I was angry. I was really, really mad. And it reached a certain point where Mama, you had always said it to us, like, it's not fair. But I never really had heard it. And then it reached a point where I finally understood it, and I decided that I was done being angry. I was done being mad. I was done wasting away the time that I had, the life that I had. And it was time to like find the beauty in like myself, find the beauty in my family, figure out what was amazing about it, and like really accept it for what it was. And I think that I was able to do that. And ever since that, I've kind of never, I really try not to go back to that, because your life is your own and you just have to make it what you want it to be. And it won't look like everybody else's. And that's okay, because it's still amazing.
Yay!
I was just gonna say, mic drop.
Yeah, we could end right there and this would be amazing. But we're not gonna end right there. But yeah, I mean, it's some people never get that. Some people always are fighting against that all their lives, right? That life's not fair, instead of really appreciating what they got in their life. Because we get what we get for a reason, right? And you're either supposed to be learning from it or growing from it. And so to learn that early in life is a real blessing. And
Yeah.
but you mentioned a little bit in it when you were saying that, but what has what has taken that on really provided for you? Letting go of that anger and that fighting against the world, what has that opened up for you?
Well, plain and simple, it's given me a much better relationship with each and every single one of my family members. And it's given me the ability to create stronger relationships with them. Um, and focus my energy into spending time with them and laughing with them and like creating memories with them and making experiences and all that stuff is like sounds so cheesy, but I think that I was so stuck in the negative for so long that I wasn't able to necessarily do that entirely. And I was fighting and it caused a lot of issues. And letting go of that just has really allowed me to create fuller, stronger relationships that provide me with so much light and like laughter and smiles um and all of that. And it just like has just given me the ability to like see the positivity in everything and see that like it's gonna all work out. It just might take some time and you might not see it right away. Yeah.
So, Seraina, when did you stand up for something that mattered to you? Or when did you take a chance for love? And this is not necessarily romantic love, but just love in general.
Um, well, I guess kind of going off of that, that was me standing up for what mattered, and taking a chance for love because, well, I guess I'll just like dive right into it. Well, so I fought with the world for a while, but not only did I just fight with the world, I really took my anger out on one of my siblings specifically. And it wasn't anything that was his fault. It was entirely like my own, and it was all on me. But I was so angry at the situation that he was in that I couldn't let go of it, and I couldn't just like let him, like in my head, like he was a part of it. And I loved him so much that I didn't want to see him hurt. I love him so much. I didn't want to see him hurt, and I didn't want him to have to go through this and like deal with how mean people are and how mean the world can be and all of that. And I think that like me taking that chance and like choosing to like let it go and like just like put it out of my own hands and like put it out, like give it away to somebody else to take care of, like all that worrying, all that um anger, all of that, that I was able to like take the chance um and just choose to like love him and like be there for him and support him and cheer him on in everything that he does. Um and just all of that and like just like let go of how angry I was and like the anger that I thought in my head was protecting me from the situation. Um and by letting that go, I was able to just give him all my love and choose to build that relationship and make it stronger and yeah.
Cool. So would you say that that anger that was protecting you almost put up like a wall between you two?
I think that well 100% prep wall, but I think what it was, and it's like taking me a really long time to get here. I think I was just so angry, but I think that that anger also had to do with the fact that like I thought that by being angry I was protecting myself um by not having to feel what I think I really wanted to feel, which was like how scared I was. Just as like things get worse. But how scared I was, how worried I was, how petrified I was, how petrified I am. And I think that like by building that wall, I was able to be like, okay, it just doesn't matter, it just doesn't matter. Like I'm angry, and that was how I channeled it. Versus now, I think that I channel it in a different way. And I choose to approach it with positivity and approach it with like love versus approaching it with like hate and anger. Yeah.
Really, really good.
That is so powerful. And again, a little emotional, obviously. Um, one of the insights I had is we try to protect, we try, or at least I, but I've found in a few people that we try to keep people at arm's length so as not to get hurt. We try to protect our hearts by just building this barrier or whatever, and it's gonna hurt either way. And love is the only thing that will get us through.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
And
is.
yeah, and I think that like going off of that, um, like another lesson that I like learned throughout this all is like you don't want to like waste the time you have, and then regret it later on. And I think that's a huge lesson because it's like you push away and you choose to be angry, and then at one point you might not even have them anymore. And would you rather look back and say like, wow, like I made the most of the time that I had, or would you rather look back and say like, oh, like I spent all that time just being angry and like being mad at the world, and I like missed out on it all. And I think that that's just like a very, very important thing that takes a lot of time to learn, and a lot of, um, it takes a lot to really let that go. Because like trust me, like I still have days where I'm very, very angry, and
Of
like
course.
people like it shows, and like that's natural, but I think that like I'd rather have those like 2 days where I'm angry than have like the 365. So like the 2 days where I'm angry, and then 363 days of like making amazing memories and like making the strongest relationships that I possibly can. Yeah.
Mm. And what a great lesson to live life with no regrets, right? There's no tomorrow, and there's just today. And how do you want to spend your time? Beautiful.
We
Yeah.
all live like we're gonna live forever, and that all the people around us are gonna live forever, and we know that's not the case, right? Like,
Mhm. And that's like that's the blessing that comes out of like the whole situation is you see that faster than other people might. Um, because like from anything that I've learned, and like, well, I guess I don't know, but like the situation is that like Nico has muscular dystrophy. But sorry, I feel like I'm like tiptoeing around it. But it's just like I learned that faster than a lot of my friends. And I think that I see that, and I think that I see that in like the way that I approach life. But like tomorrow's not promised. And everything can change in an instant. But you really have to take advantage of the time that you have. And like, it's just the small things of like, it's okay to be angry, but it's also time, like when it's time to let it go, like let it go so that you can move on from it. Because if not, you're just going to be stuck forever. And next thing you might know, like everything could change for the worse. And like, would you rather have let it go or stuck down and been angry about it, and proved your point that you were mad about it?
like beautiful. And some people never learn that their entire lives. So, you know, like kudos for taking that. And it takes courage. It takes courage to step into that and let down that wall and be with all that, those feelings of fear and whatever's there, right? But can you let your possibilities be bigger than your fear, right? And that's just really beautiful. And it's beautiful to watch you go through all of this and just come out with more positivity and more passion, more positivity and curiosity. All right, so here's your next one. Ready? If you had a magic wand and could give people any equality, what would you give them and why?
Um, I think that I would give them the ability to think and take a deep breath before they speak. Because I think that I noticed that people react very quickly. And if people were to just like take a minute before speaking, and I think I can apply it to myself, like before I can have a big conversation, I need to go journal about it because I know that like if I don't, I'm gonna say something that I don't mean. And I think that like we need to kind of take that a little bit, like everybody needs to learn that lesson and have that quality to like just like, okay, now I know what I'm gonna say. Like I like have let go of like all the in the moment emotions, and I can say what I really want to say.
That is so freaking powerful. You know, I always talk about imaginary duct tape, right? It's like you, okay, okay. Okay, so now I can just, okay, so what do you think about it? How are you going to deal with it? What's your next step? Or this is what I want to say about the situation. Beautiful, beautiful. So, Seraina, who or what do you want to be when you grow up? Like if you could be anything or anyone, what would it be and why?
Um, I'm not really sure yet. I think I'm still figuring it out. Um, just because I don't know what's coming, and I think that I could like tell you what I want to be or who I want to be. But I think that it's just gonna keep changing. Um, I think that the biggest one is, and like, mommy, you know this because we were talking about this, but like, I am so excited to be a mom. I have had an incredible experience with my mom, and I have an incredible relationship with her. And I just can't wait to have kids of my own. Um, but other than that, I'm not really sure because I just don't know what's going to come tomorrow, and I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years or 10 years. Um, I hope that I'm still surrounded by the people that I'm surrounded by today. Um, I hope that I still have the same like approach to life of being positive. Um, and just taking it one day at a time and like enjoying the day that you have. Um, but yeah, I'm not really sure like who or where or what that will specifically look like, but yeah.
You don't want to be a superhero or Wonder Woman or a fairy godmother or
No, I don't want to be a fairy godmother. I don't want to be a superhero. I don't I I like being me. And I hope that I could just be the best version of me. And that'll be enough.
It's always enough. So what do
Mhm.
you want people to remember about you?
Um, I've never thought about this. I want people to remember my smile. I love smiling at people. I love when people smile at me. And I just want people to remember how happy I am, I guess. Because it's something that I like love about myself. Um, and I think that'd be a great thing to be remembered by. Yeah, remember, yeah, my smile.
so this might be the same or not, but what are you most proud of? Like, what do you consider your biggest accomplishment?
Um, well, at any given moment, this can always change, and like my answer will change because there's a lot of things I'm really proud about myself. I guess like who I am. If you'd asked me like 2 weeks ago, it would have been surviving my sports journalism class. Uh, that took a lot. Um, I think right now the biggest thing that I'm like most proud of myself and like is the fact that I went to Ecuador last summer by myself because I think that that took a lot. And it was my way of making peace with um my grandpa's death. And I think that if he was still here, and I know that he like always is around, and I think that when he's looking down at me, I think that he's so proud of me, and that makes me really proud of myself. Um, and being there alone and constantly doing things that make me uncomfortable and pushing through it and learning so much and meeting so many people and having so many new experiences. And just like continuing to go even when challenges were thrown at me. And like living to tell the story of it. um, and yeah, and like all of that and like really making an impact on these people's lives and continuing to have contact with them and hoping to go back. And that's like all stuff that I'm really proud of. Just that whole trip in general meant a lot to me. And I like learned so much about like the way that I live and the way that I can change the way that I live to make somebody else's life a little bit better, or like the way that I can give back. Um, and I think that like little things like that, just like those lessons and that experience is something that I'm really, really proud of.
Mm. And you have tons to be proud of. So, Seraina, thank you so much for being here. I am So proud of you, as you know. And thank you everyone for being here, for listening. If you love this, just please leave us a review or share or both. And please always remember that you are extraordinary. You rock. Until next time. Christina, do you want to say goodbye?
Goodbye for now.
Goodbye. Thank you for having me.